One of the things that really attracted me to human design was that they acknowledge the chakras in this system, in the Rave mandala. And I always thought that was very clever. Now I know we're evolving and changing. The mandala may change after 2027, but we don't need to go there yet. But it's very interesting to me that all of these three gates are in the root chakra. So anyway, we're going to get into 19 in a second, but if you think about it, 60, 41, and 19, all this beginning part of Aquarius is activating the root chakra. So think about that. All right. So number 19 or gate 19 goes from 7 of Aquarius to 13. Now, what's significant for me is my north node lives here and my ascendant. So this gate is where the sun was arising on the day of my birth. So right on the horizon, gate 19 was right there and the north node of my moon. And we're not going to get into what north nodes and south nodes are right now, but it's part of our destiny. It's part of the where the archer aims its arrow is the way I like to think of the north node. It's the parts that I'm aspiring to. And so that's going to be activated on the new moon. So gate 19, it's a tribal circuit, and all of the circuits are individual, tribal, and collective. Well, let's talk about the new moon on gate 19. It's called the approach, the need to find inclusion. So, one thing
And
about, so
I'm
if you
also,
think
sorry, just going to say, and the gate of wanting.
the gate of wanting, okay. So, what do we want to talk about? So, the moon is going to be in gate 19, and it's reaching out to find how life connects us all. So we're reaching out to find how life connects us all and an urge to end separation and reestablish unity. Ah, That's like, yeah, that I can feel that through my bones. I can feel that resonate through my whole entire body. To me, it's about as soon as we realize that I'm another you and you're another me, and that the things that I could point my finger at you for, I could easily point my finger back at me. It's like when we stop thinking that everybody is separate or in competition with us or against us or just that separation is that we're all connected. So that's what the gate of 19 is sort of speaking to me. What does it say to you? The from the Gene Keys perspective.
So you have the shadow of codependence or neediness, like that real needy of moving through. The gift is sensitivity. So, like, really being able to, this might be the person who's like, I'm an empath, which I have a whole thing on, saying the comment of being an empath because there's a lot of skills that come with being an empath that we still have to master and be a part of. But that sense, being able to step into that sensitivity and being able to read the collective and know what people need, and being able to provide that is a great gift, to move forward. And then you step into that siddhi of sacrifice, which really does mean you are like giving yourself in that bigger picture to the collective.
Interesting. When I'm looking through some of the keywords, there's finding mutuality, so finding that mutually beneficial path, cooperating, a right approach wins allies, getting involved, great care is needed to distinguish real needs and wants. So there's a lot about teamwork, and I heard you say the codependence part. And this is something, as a person, like you were talking about empaths, but a person who has chosen to help others as a profession, like that, like a helping career. Um, there's always this fine balance between giving of yourself because you have gifts and talents to share versus being taken advantage of or manipulated, into codependency where there's like an addiction to being needed,
Mm.
you know, and that oh, I
Your
feel needed.
all of your self worth and value is coming from a place of I must be needed, otherwise what's the point of me being here kind
And
of.
it's tricky because we're talking about self-sacrifice. We are talking about giving of our gifts. We're saying, okay, but I think what the individual part of it is the gifts and like the groundedness within yourself has to be there first. Like they say your cup has to be full before you can, that kind of thing. Like and I think that's where that codependency part comes in is if I'm giving from an empty cup, if I'm giving because out of conditioning. I'm giving out of just duty, but not no joy or curiosity or those types of things.
One of the examples it gave when I was listening to it this morning that I was provided was talking about like matrimony or marriages or being in a couple. And so often there's a certain level of intertwinedness and you let go of parts of yourself to make the wholeness of those two people.
Right.
And I'm not saying that from like a positive or negative perspective. It's just something. In fact, I even thought about it between you and me, Tammy, where I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Tammy and I have been at this for, a year. Tammy and I have a long history, a long relationship going back to our much younger days. Like, I wonder what that means about us, like where the compromises and the engagements that we have just as much as where the compromises in the engagement that I have with my husband, but where there might be parts of my authenticity that I'm letting go of, and for him or for you or for others as well. And so that stirred curiosity in my mind. I don't
Yeah.
know really what that means, one thing or another, but
Well, all of this is for contemplation. I do want to hear back from people. We're going to finish off by sharing one last card for the Gate 19 that I pulled and I really think it's appropriate. And the last thing I want to just kind of to summarize before we go read the last card is that this is activating the root chakras of all, and it was going through all three, the individual circuit, the collective, and the tribal. Those three gates were one after the other. So it's like reworking different levels of our connectedness to people, whether this is like one-on-one or whether it's more collective with our community or broader scope. So you may feel these themes, these Aquarius themes through those energies. But I thought the last one was beautiful. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can see it full screen here. All right, maybe. So this one says all paths lead home. I need to hear this. This goes with 19, where my north node is, because I often have a feeling that I'm missing the boat, or I missed my opportunity, or I missed my chance. This is like this ongoing feeling for me. And to me, this is reminding us that all paths lead home. It says your inner authority, that's a human design word, right? Intuition and turning your gaze within that this time, regardless of how you're like navigating these times, it's always about going back in and checking in with yourself and finding your own grounding and your own curiosity and your own body practices and your own community, because our strength has to come from right here in order to navigate all that's out there, you know? So that was our interpretation and co-creation with gate 60, 41, 19, and this the beginning of Aquarius and this new moon. I'm probably going to have more to say about the new moon coming up. It's 4 days away and I'm really feeling into it and um because it is so personal for me. Maybe it's personal for you. Let's take a look. If you want an astrology chart reading, let me know and we can work something out. I'm still doing the deal, $30, 30 minutes for those quickie readings for the retrograde. We have Mars in retrograde right now. And I know, Melissa, if you're really having trouble with the energies, I have had a few Reiki sessions by Melissa, and I feel the difference when I receive and
I'm
co-create with
thinking
that.
that I want to put a deal out for a possibility of the chakra awakening with the
Ooh, the
snake
root
moving
chakra.
through. Yeah, how do we move through and get aligned in that? in that way. So be on the lookout for those things as well.
That sounds amazing. I highly recommend it. All right, my friend, signing off for today. We'll see you
Have
soon.
fun, play with the energy.